Hey everyone, welcome to design artifact number 4. This is the GIS Cloud Spatiotemporal Map. So it's very similar to the previous artifact, which was just the spatial map. We just pinpointed spaces on the map. This one is going to deal with spatial data, so spaces or pinpoints on the map, as well as temporal data. That's time-based data. So depending on your topic, you may or may not be able just to use the map that you already created for the previous artifact and just add to it. The major difference with this artifact is that you will have an additional layer that shows a path. So, for example, I'm looking at an example here of a running path that I like to take, and along the way I have 3 different things pinpointed. So for my spatial data, the path is my spatial data, right? This is showing you a running path that I take. And then for the temporal data, I have the starting point, mile 1, mile 2, and then back here, the end of mile 3, and the end point, or start or end, depending on how you look at it. So 3 points on the map. You'll need a minimum of 5 again, just for this artifact. But just to give you an example of a running path, the spatial data is the path itself, and the temporal data, in this case, let's take a look at this one here, is in this case the actual time that I was recording on that run. So 6 minutes and 7 seconds at mile 1. So you can think of it that way, but if you're doing something like phone usage or something, you could pinpoint different areas on the map, and then you could say, how much time you spent on your phone in that location. That would be another example of temporal data. So to add the path, as I mentioned, you'll need a new layer, and to add a new layer, you just click the Add Layer button, go to Database. And the only difference here is for your new table, you select line. And once you do that, that's what allows you to draw your path. So let's just say, I'm just going to call this one test, create. Oh, create. Okay, so now under the feature tab, when you go to add a feature, you can click a start point and then keep clicking to draw your path as precisely as you want. To end it, just click on that last square and then give it a name. So, give it a name. That's your path. And then, of course, you can do the same thing with this layer that you did with the previous artifact, which is you can customize it. You can change its thickness, its color. You can change the attributes over here so that they show what you want them to show. So you'll want to do that. I'm going to delete this one just to get it out of the way. But let's suppose that I just created this path right here. For my attributes, I'm including a name and a description, just like I did before. So the way that I did that is when you edit the layer, you can go to attributes. And in this case, this is how I set that up. So if you just want to copy that, you can. But just make sure that only these 2 are checked. It has a name and a description. That takes care of that layer. Now, if you're going to use your previous artifact with your points on it that already exist, then you're already going to have a layer that exists for those things. If not, if you wanted to start fresh, you can create another layer. This time, go back here, this time choosing from the database to just do the point type. So this one, you're just pinpointing, right? Again, that's just if you want to start from scratch and start over here. So let's take a look at the layer that has the pinpoints. And with this one, the only caveat that I'm asking that's different for this one is that we actually add a photo. If this were a more advanced class, we could get into geotagging, and actually working with that. But for now, we're just using a straightforward photo JPEG, either that you can find online or that you took yourself. So for example, if you're looking at, your path is going around campus, you might want to stop at each of the 5 points that you have, take a photo with your phone, and use that to upload. Again, with this layer for my paths, you're going to want to change your attributes a little bit so that you can allow for a spot to add a photo. So again, you can just copy this if you want. The way that I added this one, you can go to Edit Attributes, and you can add another field name. You can add photo here, or whatever you want to name it. But as long as you have those 3 things: name, description, and photo, and that's what's going to show up in your drawer on the right-hand side. Okay, so now to get the photo embedded into the point, you can go down here to the data table, click on this, and when you click on that, it brings this drawer up from the bottom, and it shows you everything on that map. If you right-click right here, you can attach media file, and you'll need to upload your photos. So upload the photo that you took. Let's just use this one. So upload it, and then choose from your list, select it, and it will automatically add it to that pinpoint, so that when you touch the pinpoint, you can open the photo and see what's embedded directly into that pinpoint. So again, just to recap on what we're doing and the requirements for this, you need to have spatial and temporal data, so space and time, so that's a path, and time points on the map. It needs to be at least 5 of them. And yes, you can use the same ones from last week. It needs to include a name and a description. Customize your display styles, use bold icons, colors, make it highly visible in the map, and then include an image for each of the 5 locations. As always, if you have any questions, you can email me and ask me, but I would highly encourage you to start on this earlier in the week rather than later, because as you saw with the last artifact, it can be a little time consuming. So get started early and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you very much.